A Gong Sun Chong meridian governs the stomach, heart, and chest. Nei Guan and Yin Wei channels share the same pathway. Lin Qi links the gallbladder meridian with the Dai channel, and Yang Wei intersects at Wei Guan near the eyes. Ho Shi connects the Du meridian to the inner canthus and neck, while Shinmai communicates with Yang Qiao and its associated pathways. Lai Ke operates along the Ren meridian, influencing the lung system, while Yang Qiao intersects with Zhao Hai affecting the diaphragm and throat. Each meridian corresponds to critical areas of the human body. While the 8 extraordinary meridians are inherently connected, their connections are subtle, making it challenging for internal energy to traverse them. In Tang San's previous life, the prowess of internal martial arts experts was often gauged by how many of these meridians they had managed to clear. Among the 8 extraordinary meridians, the Ren, Du, Chong, and Dai meridians are the most crucial. Judging from the location, it seemed that the pressure he was under previously allowed his Xian Tiangong to break through the Chong meridian. Clearing the Chong meridian consequently clears the heart meridian. Although its effects are not as pronounced as those of the Ren and Du meridians, the benefits it provided to Tang San were immeasurable. Similar to how younger soul masters benefit more from training, breaking through these meridians is also easier at a younger age. As one ages, the body's meridians become more rigid due to external influences, making it harder to clear them. Now that the Chong meridian was clear, it was undoubtedly a significant advantage for Tang San's future cultivation. He now seemed to possess an internal brilliance, likely due to the fortuitous circumstances. The master intended for him to fuse with the external spirit bone under these conditions, yet unexpectedly, Tang San managed to clear a meridian, gaining even greater benefits. On the side of Heaven Do Royal Academy, Meng Shinji naturally took the lead, while on the Shrek Academy side, Flender was the head. Thanks to Meng Shinji's favorable conditions, the two conversed increasingly amicably, almost lamenting not having met earlier. Meng Shinji said, Then it's settled. Teacher Qin, please make the arrangements. Qin Ming quickly nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed on Tang San with a mix of surprise and envy. Despite being a genius himself, his brilliance was overshadowed by Tang San's external spirit bone. As the Shrek Academy group was preparing to leave, footsteps were heard outside, seemingly belonging to 2 people. Is Chief Meng Shinji here? The voice arrived before the person, loud and commanding, carrying an air of superiority, though not overtly domineering. Meng Shinji paused, recognizing the voice and wondering why the person was here. He quickly stood up and went out to greet the newcomers, followed by the other 2 elders, whose expressions subtly changed. Soon, 3 people entered. One of them was familiar to the Shrek group, the young man kicked by Dai Mubai the previous day. The youth stood arrogantly to the left, his eyes filled with resentment. In the center was an elder in luxurious clothing, wearing a grand yellow robe adorned with intricate embroidery. His neatly combed graying hair contrasted with his slightly stout build and dignified appearance, though his small eyes marred his overall look. Standing with his hands behind his back, he exuded an air of superiority, showing no respect even to the 3 spirit Douluo elders. The Shrek group was startled, not by their appearance but by the 3rd person walking to the right of the well-dressed elder. Previously, they had only heard 2 sets of footsteps, but 3 people entered. What did this imply? The 3rd person, unlike the well-dressed elder, was slender and tall, with dark green hair and eyes that shone like emeralds. He seemed almost like a phantom, his movements imperceptible, yet always keeping pace with the elder beside him. This man's face was expressionless, his cheek sunken, and his unruly green hair added to his stark contrast with the opulent elder. His hands remained hidden in his robe sleeves, and he entered the hall with closed eyes, ignoring everyone present. Your Highness, why are you here? Meng Shinji bowed slightly to the elder in the luxurious robe. But his and the other 2 elders' attention was focused on the green-haired man, whose depth was unfathomable even to them. The well-dressed elder glanced at the Shrek group and, after a few whispered words from the youth beside him, said, Do we have guests? Will you not introduce them to me? Meng Shinji frowned slightly. Although the man was a prince, the three elders' status in the Soul Master community warranted more respect. However, as this prince was in charge of the Royal Academy, they could not afford to offend him. Meng Shinji introduced, Your Highness, this is Flender, the headmaster of Shrek Academy, here to discuss a collaboration. Headmaster Flender, this is Prince Xue Xing of the Heaven-Do Empire, who oversees our Royal Academy. Flender, despite his disdain for the arrogant prince, politely greeted, Hello, Your Highness. Prince Xue Xing barely acknowledged Flender, dismissively stating, A Shrek Academy? Never heard of it. Must be an insignificant school. Meng Shinji, how could you allow such unknown people into our academy? This remark enraged the Shrek group, with Zhao Wuji ready to lash out, but Flender restrained him. Meng Shinji's expression darkened. Your Highness, you cannot say that. Shrek Academy has produced many outstanding soul masters, including our teacher Qin Ming. Headmaster Flender and his colleagues are invaluable talents willing to teach here. Yo! Prince Xue Xing's attitude softened slightly upon learning Qin Ming was from Shrek Academy. He asked, Meng Shinji, according to Academy rules, shouldn't new teachers undergo an assessment? Have these individuals passed? Jiling, standing beside Meng Shinji, retorted, the Shrek teachers possess Heaven-Do level qualifications and do not need assessments. Your Highness, is that the only reason you're here today? His tone was noticeably irritable. Prince Xue Xing snorted, The Heaven-Do Royal Academy is the Empire's pillar, producing future leaders. The influence of our teachers is immense. I will not allow arrogant individuals to be appointed. I heard that yesterday these guests attacked Xuebong, the fourth prince. How can the imperial dignity be so easily insulted? Meng Shinji and the other elders realized the prince's true intent, seeing Xuebong's hateful glare directed at Dai Mubai. They lamented that the academy could not nurture more talent due to such noble interference. Flender replied calmly, What does your highness propose? Did you ask why Prince Xuebong was attacked? High-level soul masters did not bow to nobility. Flender, naturally rebellious, would have reacted violently if not for his concern for his longtime companion's future. Prince Xue Xing snorted, I value talent. Since you seek cooperation, and Xuebong was also at fault, let's consider the matter settled. However, his gaze swept over the Shrek group, you must prove your worth. Standing beside the prince, Xuebong smirked triumphantly. Suppressing his anger, Flender asked, how does your highness suggest we prove ourselves? Prince Xue Xing smiled. Simple. If you can last 5 minutes against Mr. Dugu, I'll recognize your talent and offer preferential treatment. Otherwise, leave immediately. Dai Mubai, furious, stepped forward, but the green-haired elder opened his eyes, his gaze pinning Dai Mubai in place. As soon as he opened his eyes, the temperature in the entire council hall seemed to drop suddenly. His eyes were dark green, lifeless, exuding not only coldness but also a cruel, eerie malevolence. Dai Mubai groaned and his body trembled violently before silently collapsing to the ground, motionless. A green vine shot out like lightning, wrapping around Dai Mubai's waist and forcibly pulling him back. It was the work of the sky-blue vine Douluo, Jiling. Your Highness, don't go too far, Meng Shinji shouted angrily. Prince Xue Xing replied indifferently, how am I going too far? Chief Meng Shinji, don't forget that the academy belongs to the royal family. As the direct administrator, I have the authority over personnel decisions. If you're unhappy, you can complain to His Majesty. But until he removes me from my position, I call the shots here. Meng Shinji was so furious that he couldn't speak, his beard and hair standing on end. A green light enveloped Dai Mubai, and he woke up within its embrace, but his eyes were filled with a confused terror. In that brief moment earlier, he had felt a chilling cold and then knew nothing more. He hadn't even had the chance to resist. Prince Xuexing turned to his right, facing the 3 council members and the Shrek Academy group with a condescending air, yet he treated the green-haired old man beside him with utmost respect. Mr. Douluo, please." The green-haired elder glanced at the Shrek Academy members. "Prove yourselves with your strength. Come at me all together." As he spoke, a powerful green light radiated from him, followed by rings of light rising from his feet without any change to his body. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 black. 9 soul rings in total spiraled up, their dazzling light making the entire hall resplendent. The faces of the Shrek Academy members changed, as did the expressions of the 3 council members. No one had expected this seemingly unkempt green-haired elder to be one of the top-tier powerhouses on the continent, a titled Douluo with soul power exceeding level 90. Even the 3 soul Douluo, each above level 80, had no confidence in facing him. The gap between a soul Douluo and a titled Douluo, though only a single rank in title, was vast in terms of power. The higher the level, the greater the gap between each rank. Although the last 5 soul rings on the green-haired elder were all black, everyone knew that the further the soul rings, the closer they were to the 100,000-year mark. Conservatively, his final soul ring would come from a soul beast of at least 70,000 years. From the aura of the green-haired elder, it was clear he was a titled Douluo with a beast spirit. His lack of physical change while releasing his spirit further proved his terrifying control over his spirit, something only top-level soul masters like titled Douluo could achieve. Sir, your surname is Douluo, and you have a strong poisonous aura. If I'm not mistaken, you must be the poisoned Douluo Douluo. The master stepped forward, blocking the enraged teachers of Shrek Academy, and addressed the green-haired elder. Ha ha ha, the green-haired elder laughed strangely. I didn't expect anyone to remember me. Yes, I am Douluo. Knowing my name, why haven't you left? The master's face remained calm as he nodded seriously. Very well, we will leave. Flender, let's go. He grabbed Flender and started to leave. Flender shook off the master's hand forcefully, his eyes flashing with a cold light. Shao Gang, I can't let Shrek suffer this humiliation. The master retorted angrily, You're not afraid of death, but do you want everyone to die with you? A titled Douluo is beyond your capability. If you were a titled Douluo, you could make others leave, but you are not. Even if we old folks aren't afraid of death, do you want the kids to follow us to destruction? Poison Douluo's poison is world-renowned. Do you think his attack will only target you? After saying this, the master turned to the 3 soul Douluo council members. My apologies, seniors. Let's end this matter today. We will never forget your hospitality. Until we meet again. Wait, Meng Xinji's eyes flashed with anger as he glared at poison Douluo Douluo. Let us 3 old men experience your poison. The Sky Furnace Douluo by Baoshan and the Sky Blue Vine Douluo Jeline stepped behind Meng Xinji, all 3 releasing their powerful auras simultaneously. Meng Xinji's body became ethereal, turning into a dark shadow shrouded in black mist. 2 yellow, 3 purple, and 3 black soul rings shone brightly. From the soul rings, the gap was apparent. Poison Douluo Douluo's 5th soul ring was already at the 10,000-year level, while Meng Xinji's was still at the 1,000-year level. In Bai Baoshan's palm appeared a golden furnace with 7 silver stars shining brightly. With soul rings of the same quality as Meng Xinji's, a heavy and solid aura enveloped him. Jeline had only 1 sky blue vine, but its color was as crystalline as jade, a faint blue mist emanating from it, enveloping his body. The faces of the Shrek Academy members were grim, but no one noticed that Xiao Wu, standing at the back, was trying hard to restrain her aura, her face pale. Ever since Prince Xuexing and his group entered, she had been doing this unnoticed. Her eyes had turned red unknowingly. The standoff between the 3 soul Douluo and the titled Douluo made the atmosphere in the council hall extremely tense. The 3 soul Douluo's aura protected the Shrek Academy members, while poisoned Douluo Dugubo naturally shielded Prince Xuexing and the fourth Prince Xuebong, preparing for an imminent battle. Despite his overwhelming power, Dugubo did not take the three-souled Douluo lightly. His dark green eyes finally showed a hint of seriousness. Seniors, what are you doing? Prince Xuexing shouted angrily, though he felt a pang of regret. These three council members were above level 80 and highly regarded by the Heaven Do Emperor. If a fight broke out and something went wrong, he couldn't handle the consequences. Prince Xuexing, if you insist on this, we will report to His Majesty tomorrow to impeach you and seek justice. Zhmeng Xinji's genuine anger was evident. The Shrek Academy group had left a good impression on him, especially Tang San, whose talent had greatly surprised them. Seeing the beneficial cooperation with Heaven Do Imperial Academy about to fall apart, how could he not be angry? Despite Dugubo being younger, Meng Xinji was genuinely furious. This was no longer just about the Shrek Academy members, it also concerned the dignity of the three-souled Douluo. The earlier admiration for Tang San had also played a significant role. Enough, Flender sighed, unclenching his fists. His eyes behind the crystal glasses calmed down. He bowed slightly to the three-souled Douluo. I didn't expect our visit to cause you such trouble. I am ashamed. Since Heaven Do Imperial Academy doesn't want us, we won't impose. If we force our stay, there will be no peace.
Seigneur, goodbye.
I will visit again someday. Having matured from his youthful impulsiveness, Flender understood the futility of fighting against a stronger force. Since Prince Xuexing had shown hostility, staying would only cause more trouble. Though Heaven Do Imperial Academy was good, it wasn't a place to stay long-term. They had gained much from the Great Spirit Arena, enough to sustain Shrek Academy for a long time. Principal Flender, Zhmeng Xinji called anxiously. Flender didn't turn back, leading the Shrek members out. As the Shrek 7 monsters passed by the fourth Prince Xuebong, they saw the gloating expression in his eyes. Prince Xuexing lifted his head high, ignoring Flender's group as if they were invisible. The three-souled Douluo's faces alternated between red and white, clearly furious but helpless. After all, this was the Heaven Do Empire's royal domain. At this moment, a young girl ran in from outside, Yi Grandpa. She rushed towards Dugubo, whose face softened instantly upon seeing her, embracing her with a laugh. Yen, not bad, you've improved again. The Shrek 7 monsters recognized her as the control system spirit master of the royal battle team, Dugu Yen, from their previous match at the Great Spirit Arena. They saw Dugu Yen, who, having thrown herself into her grandfather's arms, also saw them. When her gaze fell on Tang San, her expression changed noticeably. She wrapped her arms around Dugubo's neck and whispered something into his ear. When Qin Ming returned, he had told them in detail about the ages of the Shrek 7 devils to motivate the Huangdo team members to train harder. Dugu Yen had asked specifically about Tang San's appearance. She came today to see who had defeated her so arrogantly, only to unexpectedly see her grandfather here. Among the Shrek 7 devils present, Tang San looked ordinary, but his physique and eyes were unmistakable, and she recognized him at a glance. When Dugubo looked up again, the Shrek Academy group had already walked out of the main hall. His gaze lingered on Tang San's back for a moment, his lips moved slightly as if saying something to Dugu Yen, who immediately smiled and nestled into Dugubo's arms. E3 Teaching Committee members. I'm sorry, but I think I must leave the academy too. It was Qin Ming speaking, his face filled with grief and indignation. It was an agonizing experience to see his mentors humiliated without being able to avenge them, but no matter what, he couldn't stay any longer. No matter how good the conditions here were, they could never compare to his original home, Shrek Academy. The 3 teaching committee members were shocked, even the Prince Xuexing was stunned. Qin Ming's status at the Royal Academy was far higher than what Flender and the others knew. He was second only to the 3 committee members. After all, he was one of the few young people recorded in the Spirit Hall who had reached level 60. He was an extraordinary talent, and the committee members were certain that Qin Ming would become a titled Douluo before 60. A titled Douluo's emergence was of immense importance not just to an academy, but to the entire Heaven Do Empire. At this moment, Prince Xuexing finally felt a bit of regret, his brows furrowing. But he wouldn't admit it now. Otherwise, wouldn't he be slapping his own face? Meng Xinji quickly stepped forward to block Qin Ming. "You teacher Qin, this won't do. Let's discuss this matter thoroughly. Today's incident will be reported to His Majesty, and we will seek justice." Qin Ming shook his head, his eyes resolute. This is the Heaven Do Royal Academy, belonging to the royal family. Since the royal family despises Shrek Academy's people, how can I stay? I appreciate the committee members' kindness. When I came here, I was alone. Today, I leave the same way. Committee members, take care. I'll never forget your care over the years and will repay it someday. Farewell. Not giving the 3 committee members a chance to persuade him, Qin Ming activated his spirit power and quickly left, following the Shrek group out of the main hall. Meng Xinji stamped his foot in anger, shouting at Prince Xuexing, Your Highness, do you realize what kind of talents those people were? Do you? He had promised the Shrek people not to reveal Tang San's external spirit bone. His spirit power fluctuated with his rising anger. Prince Xuexing said indifferently, It's pointless to say more now. If you want to complain to His Majesty, go ahead. Goodbye. He walked out with Xuebong, ignoring Douluo. Douluo didn't seem to be in a hurry to leave. He looked at the 3 committee members. What's there to retain about a group of spirit masters who haven't even reached level 80? You 3 are really getting old. Meng Xinji retorted angrily. What do you understand? True, none of them have reached level 80, but do you realize their potential? In a few decades, several of them might become titled Douluo. Prince Xuexing's actions today are pushing the empire into the abyss. Don't you think today's events won't cause resentment? Douluo snorted. What does it have to do with me? Yen, Grandpa is leaving. Study well here. Prince Xuexing left the main hall with Xuebong, his face darkening. Xuebong, you've caused me a lot of trouble this time. Those 3 old fellows won't let this go. Xuebong replied fawningly, Uncle, thank you for today. You saw how arrogant those Shrek people were. If we let them stay, they would surely cause trouble. Prince Xuexing responded indifferently, Enough. It's pointless to say more now. Remember, if your father asks, say they attacked you first. If it weren't for weakening your brother, do you think I would easily offend so many spirit masters? Xuebong, you must work hard. Otherwise, even if I want to help you in the future, I won't be able to. Those 3 committee members are important to your father, but unfortunately, they are on your brother's side. This seeming farce contained deep meanings, and Prince Xuexing was no impulsive person. As the Shrek Academy group descended the mountain, no one spoke. Qin Ming quickly caught up, walking silently behind Flender, his face ashen. Down the mountain, they saw the clear lake again, but no one was in the mood to enjoy the scenery. Adine, why don't we expand Shrek Academy? Dai Mubai suggested. Flender stopped, looking up at the sky. Despite the bright sun, his heart felt cold. Dai Mubai continued, You've always refused student sponsorship, and I understand. But now, we can't just give up. Don't worry, I won't use family money to support the academy. We 7 are the Shrek 7 Devils. We should do something for our academy. We can participate in the Soul Fight tournaments. With our Gold Soul Fighter team level, we can definitely bring enough income to the academy. Let's expand the academy, and one day, we'll make the Heaven Do Royal Academy regret today's actions. Dai Mubai, the leader of the Shrek 7 Devils, received unanimous support from the others. The Grandmaster sighed, placing a hand on Flender's shoulder. Flender, I'm sorry. This is my fault. Flender shook his head. It's not your fault. We're just unlucky. For some reason, I don't have the heart to rebuild the academy now. Maybe because I'm just too tired after all these years. Zhao Wuji asked, So what should we do now? Ning Rongrong suggested, Why not go to my family's castle? We're not far from the 7 treasure glazed tile clan. Flender shook his head. No, I don't want to feel like we're relying on someone else. Rongrong, thank you. Ning Rongrong insisted, Dean, don't worry. My family won't treat you like the Heaven Do Academy did. You know our clan welcomes any spirit master. If anyone dares disrespect you, I won't let them go. Just wait, I'll get Uncle Sword and Uncle Bone to teach that poison Douluo a lesson. Flender's scattered gaze gradually focused. He knew his decision affected not just himself, but also the teachers and students of Shrek Academy. Collecting himself, he regained the demeanor of a dean. You're all right. Since we've come this far, let's rest in the capital of the Heaven Do Empire. We'll discuss our next move later. At this moment, Qin Ming suddenly stepped forward and knelt before Flender and the others. Dean, it's my fault. Punish me. Flender hurriedly helped him up. Qin Ming, what are you doing? I know your heart is with Shrek. Your willingness to come with us proves it. The one who should apologize is me for ruining your future. Qin Ming smiled bitterly. Future? Without the teacher's guidance, what future would I have? I have hands and feet. Can't I survive without the Heaven Do Academy? Let me take everyone to Heaven Do City. I agree with what Dai said. I think we should reopen Shrek Academy. Dean, Shrek Academy is always our home, and none of us want to see it end. If you're tired, we can help support the academy. Flender nodded, looking at the other teachers. Let's go find a place to stay in Heaven Do City. The journey from the Heaven Do Royal Academy to Heaven Do City was short. The group, feeling downcast, soon reached the bustling capital. From afar, they saw the towering city walls, adorned with fluttering flags. As one of the largest and most prosperous cities on the continent, Heaven Do City's walls stood 100 meters high, built of the sturdiest granite. Soldiers in full armor patrolled the walls, their presence exuding an air of formidable strength.